So, everyone thought when James Harden got traded to the Clippers, it would be a disaster. But there's one thing you must do, and that's stay patient. Things always take an adjustment period for stuff to fall into place, and lately we've seen that from the underdogs who are now on top in LA. The Clippers have won 8 of their last 10 games, just showing teams that they're not to be played with, as the core big three have been putting their foot on the gas as we approach the midpoint of the season. The first 5 games after acquiring James Harden, the team didn't look so sweet as they lost their first 5 straight and Harden only poured in 15 points per game, but since that little stint, they have went 15-5. The main shift in this team's success is the uptick in play from James Harden. I know a lot of people say the way Harden plays isn't great for team ball, nor is he fun to play with, but I think the quite opposite. Sure, when he was in Houston, he was just playing for his own stats and trying to carry the team on his back. Yeah, we already know that. But when you watch Harden play nowadays, you can see the versatility and adaptability in his game. Dishing out 7 assists on 2 turnovers per game, Harden can be a master facilitator on this team full of weapons, but with his 17 points tonight, converting 47% from the field and 43% from deep, if needed, he can go get a bucket himself as well. Some of you might say, well, 17 points per game isn't really a lot and blah blah blah, but when you see him drop 18 points straight in the 4th quarter with 4 straight threes to go along with that, this is when you see just how capable he is of pouring in the buckets if his number is called. Furthermore, he opens up a whole new level of options on the floor with his playmaking that make this Clippers offense run even more seamless. Take plays like this, you can see the Clippers are setting up an action for Harden to route himself back to the middle of the floor, so when Kawhi runs through after the handoff, him and Harden practically are trading places, but while this is happening, Zubac is setting a back screen on Harden's man while handing it back off, so once Zubac rolls to the basket, it's an easy lob over the top for the alley-oop connection. Harden just makes things easier for this team with his ability to find the open man and attract multiple defenders, so when you see James get doubled on the baseline where it seems like he's in no man's land, well hey, the joke's on you, as he could hit Terrence Mann on this opposite side cutting to the rim, but instead he chooses the even more difficult decision and drops it off to Zubac through the traffic for the float over the top of the defense. Yeah, what looks difficult for most is pretty easy for Harden, and with his high level of vision on the floor, once he sees a gap open up, he's more than adept at squeezing the pass through the smallest opening for his guys to go get a bucket in close. The Clippers for some time now have needed that true point guard presence who can get this offense going in a flow state, and with James, you not only get that, but you get a guy who can turn it on and go get buckets as well. When you add a guy of this caliber next to Kawhi Leonard, Paul George, and even Russell Westbrook, this is when things get dangerous. Although this team, or shall I say Kawhi and PG, fail to be able to stay healthy, people tend to forget when they are in good condition and share the floor together, it's literally a nightmare for the other team. Like come on bro, we're talking about two-way wing forwards who can all out do everything on the floor, which makes them extremely difficult to stop. Together this season at the time of recording this video, they have both shared the court in 25 out of the 30 games, so as of now it looks like they're on the right track. Now he may not show the most emotion or make it look all flashy, but people tend to sleep on Kawhi as he's still the best player on this team and can be considered as one of the top players in the league right now. As we're 30 games into the season, Kawhi has only missed 3 games so far, and he's putting up 24 points a night, 6 rebounds and 3 assists on 52% shooting from the field and 43% shooting from deep. When you look at players who average at least 20 points while shooting 50% from the field and 40% on threes, Kawhi is in good conversation, as at the time of recording this video, the only other names are LeBron James, Tyrese Halliburton, Karl Anthony Towns, and Kevin Durant. So yeah, to say that Kawhi is back in full form wouldn't really be wrong. For years, and I mean years, we've seen him go through injuries and injuries, while his teams never really went deep into what was going on with him, which did make fans start to think he didn't care about being out there on the court. But as of now, hopefully everyone can see that Kawhi is still performing at a high level, he just genuinely needed that time to get back right. Like we talked about earlier, bringing in the former league MVP and 3-time scoring champion James Harden, not only does it take some of the scoring load off of Kawhi, but also with him being able to work off Harden, it makes it that much easier for him to flow right into his game. This goes for the smooth scorer and Paul George as well, because when we look at how many times PG was bringing up the ball last year, this number sat at 20 possessions per game, which was the highest in a season for him, but since acquiring Harden, you can see the number has significantly dropped as he's down to about 13 possessions a game. This not only takes a load of pressure off of him, but has lowered his turnovers from 3 a game to just 2. So when you want to talk about a shift in numbers with just one piece added, make sure you bring up the Clippers and James Harden. So far this season, PG is averaging 23 points on 45% shooting from the field and 40% from deep. This right here is such a good thing to see from George, as he is a major go-to option for this team when they need a bucket, so to see him be so efficient is a great sign. Just looking at this duo stats alone, it should have everyone excited for the future, as we've never really got to see these two operate on the court at a high level for extended periods of time, but if we're being honest, it looks like this season we will all get to witness it. Now there is something and someone we must cover, and that is Russell Westbrook. In the most recent years, Westbrook has been passed around the league like a joint and talked about like he's a deadbeat baby daddy. Both of these are very unfair, as Westbrook has been giving each team his full efforts and constantly has tried to be a good addition to the locker room. It seems as if everywhere he has went, he's been the scapegoat for the problems and was the burden of the jokes, but ever since joining the Clippers, it's been the complete opposite. Russ has shown his ability to be a great team player who adds a tremendous amount of value, and in my opinion, one of the best things and most selfless things he's ever done is request to take the backseat to this trio of James Harden, PG, and Kawhi so they could figure things out while he comes off the bench. Not only does he give these three more space and opportunities on the court, but with him coming off the bench with the second unit, he's able to be that spark plug while not letting his team fall off a cliff when the big three come out the game. Now, does he have the potential to be a solid starting point guard? Of course, but honestly, he's an even better option when coming off the bench. Only playing 24 minutes per game, Russ is averaging 11 points, 6 rebounds, and 4 assists, and is sinking the buckets at an effective rate of 46% from the field, but a poor rate of 27% from deep. Now we all already know Russ isn't necessarily known as a floor spacer, so the lack of 3-point shooting isn't a super red flag, as Russ's center point of value is simply how hard he plays on the court. Whether it's against a bottom team like the Pistons who need to be in the G League, or if it's against a powerhouse in the Denver Nuggets, Westbrook is going to go out there every night and put his all on the line. This is someone you want on your team because not everyone plays this hard on a consistent basis, so it's very hard to find a player like this around the league. For the Clippers, a lot of people like to say they have a big three, but hey, when you actually think about it, they actually have a big four, so say whatever you want about Russ, but no one can sit here and deny his value he adds to this team. This LA Clippers team has the pieces to do something special, and down below in the comments, I want you all to tell me what players you all think will help this team out, who you want to see more minutes from, and how well do you think the Clippers will do this season. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to drop a like and subscribe before heading over to watch this Luka Doncic game breakdown. I thank you all for your support, and I'll see you in the next video.